Imagine being alive and knowing that death is not the worst thing that can happen to you. Imagine standing in front of your people, your family, your city, while your punishment is carried out slowly, deliberately, not to end your life, but to send a message. This is not myth. This is not exaggeration. This was justice under the Assyrian Empire. For centuries, the Assyrians ruled one of the most powerful empires the ancient world had ever seen. They did not rely on mercy. They did not rely on diplomacy. They ruled through fear. Fear was not a byproduct of their power. Fear was the system. The Assyrians believed something very simple. If everyone is terrified of you, no one will dare to challenge you. And so they turned terror into policy. Their kings did not hide their brutality. They carved it into stone. They recorded it in inscriptions. They wanted the world to know exactly what would happen to anyone who resisted. One of the most infamous punishments used by the Assyrians was flaying. Captured rebel leaders were not executed quickly. Their skin was removed from their bodies while they were still alive. The process was slow, intentional, public. The skin was then displayed on city walls, gates, or poles, so that everyone entering the city would see it. The message was unmistakable. This is the fate of those who defy Assyria. In Assyrian logic, mercy was weakness, and weakness invited rebellion. But flaying was only one tool in an entire system of calculated cruelty. Some prisoners were impaled, a sharpened stake driven through the body, sometimes slowly raised until gravity did the rest. Others were nailed to walls or the ground, left to die in agony. Many were mutilated, eyes gouged out, tongues cut off, hands and feet severed. These were not acts of rage, they were procedures. The Assyrians understood something terrifyingly modern. Violence is most effective when it is organized. Their punishments were designed not only to break the victim, but to traumatize the witnesses. Fear had to spread faster than armies. Cities that resisted Assyrian rule did not simply fall, they were erased as examples. Sometimes the population was slaughtered. Sometimes the leaders were executed publicly. But often, something even more devastating happened: mass deportation. Entire populations were forced to march hundreds or even thousands of kilometers away from their homeland. Families were separated, communities were shattered. Languages, traditions, and identities dissolved over generations. This was not random cruelty, it was strategy. A people without roots cannot rebel. The Assyrians moved conquered populations like pieces on a board, resettling them among strangers, ensuring that no unified resistance could ever rise again. And it worked for a long time. Assyria became a name whispered with dread. Cities surrendered at the sight of Assyrian banners. Kings submitted before armies even arrived. Fear did what diplomacy could not. But fear has a cost. The same brutality that kept Assyria powerful also ensured that it would never be loved, never trusted, never forgiven. Over time, the terror that silenced resistance began to unite Assyria's enemies. Kingdoms that once feared standing alone began to cooperate. Old rivals found common cause. Hatred became stronger than fear, and eventually the unimaginable happened. Nineveh fell. The great Assyrian capital, once thought invincible, protected by massive walls and centuries of terror, was breached. The city burned, its palaces collapsed, its empire disintegrated. The same violence Assyria had used to dominate the world was now reflected back upon it. History delivered its verdict. Empires that rule only through fear create nothing but enemies. And when fear fades, only hatred remains. The Assyrians believed terror would make them eternal. Instead, it ensured that when they fell, no one mourned them. Their legacy survived not as glory, but as a warning. Power built on cruelty always collapses, not because it is weak, but because it teaches the world how to destroy it.